Blog Talk Radio.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, Executive Producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money. The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating, empowering, interactive conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Gathering of the Griots with Asada. Wednesdays, Repairing Family Relationships with Naima and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Veggie Brunch Live with Angela. Fridays, Health and Well-Being with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Global Talks with Zana. Second Saturday, Walk in Your Divine Authority with Mama Joy. Third Saturday, move around with Deborah. Fourth Saturday, be a judge on the virtual Teens, Tweens, and Tots Talent Contest. And fifth Saturday, join us on location as we conversate at the Elevate Cafe, owner Jackie Brooks. Sundays, join us 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Go to thefemalesolution.com to join us on our video or audio live streaming platforms. Listen at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in on the Blog Talk Radio Network 515-605-9325 or call in and comment on the On-Air Radio Network 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you. Yes, we do want to hear from you. And we are live on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif. And I believe we got our co-host, Kareem Hamid, joining us this morning. Yes. Well, we are so excited. Wa alaikum salam. So excited to be here as always to share information that may help people as they strive to improve their family relations. And this is a time of season for family gatherings, and family issues that come to the surface. So we want to help you all address those family issues. And for those who are celebrating, we certainly want to wish you a Merry Christmas. If this is your day to meet with your family and to experience the joy of gathering with those whom you love, we want to address an issue that unfortunately happens in families all the time. You know, of course, when you love someone and you want them to meet your family, and often you take that time to introduce your loved one to your family. You might have been seeing somebody for a while, and perhaps you decide, well, now it's time for my family to get to know them because this is a serious relationship. And I would like to see how they fit into my family. So these are the times you bring that special someone to the family dinner, and they get to meet that person that you are expecting to have as a permanent part of your life. What happens if they don't like them? We're going to talk about that. What happens if your family doesn't like the one you love? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with their open dislike and rejection? How do you deal with all the different things they tell you are wrong with that person and the reason why you shouldn't be with them? And how do you deal with it if they're not nice, if they're not kind to that person that you love? And then, of course, the person that you love, they feel the vibes and they might not want to be around your family. I mean, you know, there are people who work that out. Well, they just decide, okay, you're going to see your family for the family gathering. I'm not coming because I don't like your family. They don't like me. Okay, that's fine. You know, and for some people that works, but it's not the best example for your children when you're trying to demonstrate to them what a family is all about. So I've got one particular story I'm going to throw out here and see what you all think about it. And again, we are on the On-Air Radio Network here, as well as our Blog Talk channel,
You can call us at 727-731-5192 because we do want to talk to you. And you can also reach us at 515-605-9891 to connect with our American Muslim 360 channel and our co-host Kareem Hamid and all our wonderful guests and listeners and commentators, because we want to include your experiences in our repertoire of things to help uh, manage this very common situation. So now I've got a situation where a young lady, she'd been divorced. Her first husband didn't work out very well. And so after, less than a year, they split. Well, the family liked him, but she didn't get along with her ex. That's why he's an ex. And so Lucille had been seeing Robert for a good year. And, within a year, you kind of know if this is somebody that you would like to be with. So Lucille decided she would bring Robert to the holiday gathering so they could meet him. And so she said, I have a big family. My family's really into family. We gather, we celebrate, all these kind of things. So Robert, said, sure, that'd be great. I'll meet your family. Well, Lucille brought Robert to the dinner. The family was ice cold. And she didn't understand why. She introduced him. He smiled nice, tried to shake her brother's hand. Her brother kind of didn't. It's kind of left him hanging, as you say. You put your hand out, the person don't reach back. And Lucille's mother was, not warm at all. And the other cousins and so forth and aunts that were there, they were not speaking to him. Like, little snubs, like, you make a joke and people don't laugh. You feel that iciness. And so when the dinner was over and, and Robert and Lucille left, she got back home. She called back to her mother and he said, why were you all so nasty to Robert? And they had a whole list of things they didn't like. They didn't like the way he looked. I guess he wasn't as handsome as her previous husband. So they felt like, well, he doesn't keep himself up well. He wasn't dressed right. He sounds like he's kind of slow or dumb or, whatever. They thought his remarks were stupid. I mean, just all kinds of little things that they just didn't like. And she felt really bad because she felt like they were just kind of being judgmental because they really hadn't wanted her to get divorced from her ex. But that was her choice. And this new guy, that's her choice. And they didn't like him. And she and Robert spoke about it. Of course, he felt the snub. And so he was like, I'm not really particular about being around your family anymore. And so she's wondering, is this going to be a rift in their relationship? Because her family is a very close-knit family. But how is she going to feel if she can't bring her, if they and they're talking marriage, how will she feel if she can't bring him around her family? Because they don't like him and he feels their dislike. So we want to throw that thought out there. How do you handle it if your family doesn't like the one you love? Do you continue making plans to be part of the family? Uh, this, of course, it's made Robert think twice. I mean, he still loves her, but it didn't help. And so she's deciding, well, what do I do if they don't like him? Do I not bring him around? That's not fair. I don't want to have holidays where I can't have my spouse. If we're getting married, we should, then what about our children, grandchildren, all these things. So the bottom line is they decided they don't like him. And she realizes that that's going to be what it is. Should she take that into consideration in moving forward with the relationship, or should she ignore their opinions and go ahead and be with the one she loves? So we want you all to weigh in. You can give us a call, 727-731-5192. We'd like to hear from you, or 515-605-9891. On this Christmas day, when so many people are celebrating with relatives, these are the kinds of issues that come up. So we want to get your opinion about this first situation, and we'll tell you another one that's even worse. But first of all, what do you think about it, Kareem? Have you ever had a situation where your family didn't like your spouse, and or you didn't like your spouse's family, or even if you were planning on marrying someone and you could see that there was not a warm reception with either of your family? And how in your opinion should a person handle that when it's clear that the family isn't going to warm up to the one you love?
Yes, that's a bad situation to be in. But we have priorities in our life. We owe ourselves peace of mind, contentment. I owe that to myself. And only I can create that for me. No one else can create that peace that I desire within myself. No bearer, Almighty God says, no bearer of burden can bear the burden of another. So, in choosing a spouse, that is it begins off very personal, as it should. As it should. This is a choice that you have made for your life. For your life. And if this person is fulfilling in your life, because, there have been situations where the mothers have met a nice man with the prospect of marriage, and he meets, and she may have children from another relationship, and all of the children feel some kind of way about him. They express they don't like him, or how come he's this, or how come he's that. And some women have made the fatal mistake of acquiescing to the desires of their children. And mama is single. She does not have, her husband may have passed, or either the marriage was dissolved, but she still has a desire and a need to be loved and to love someone. Children go on and they develop their own families, spouses, children, and they build their lives. And you may have made the fatal mistake of letting a good person go based upon your opinion of your children. The years go by, you're still alone. Time is moving on. You have reached you are entering that senior citizen area of life. And you are lonely. You wish you had someone in your life, but you had someone that fit you, and you fit him. But you relinquished that. You let that go. You let your happiness and your peace go to please someone else. That's a big mistake. That's a big, because this is a personal choice. Yes, you respect the opinion of others, but they should not have the final say, the final decision as to the important choice that you made in your life to fulfill your life. I believe that comes first. I'm not marrying you. I'm not marrying. How can I put it? My family is not marrying you. I am marrying you. And I love you and you love me. If the environment is toxic when he introduces her, toxic means, she was treated disrespectful, ignored, shade was so-called shade was cast upon her. If that's a toxic environment, you have a right not to expose yourself to environments that are toxic, and especially your loved ones, the person that you have chosen to live your life with, and you see the pain on that person because of the rejection of your family. That's a toxic environment. And you can somewhat take responsibility what that person feels, their emotional makeup. I will not subject you to an environment that is very displeasing to you, even emotionally. So these choices that we make of someone that we want to live the rest of our life with, and they fit you and you fit them, I believe you should meet your own desires, your own needs. I can love my family right where they are. I can love them from afar. I can keep in touch with them periodically. But they're not obligated to treat my wife the way I would like them to treat her. But I'm obligated to treat her the way I believe that she deserves. And that is with love and respect. So when it comes to picking a spouse, of course, yes, we know, we consult our families. Families are joined together. But in some cases, it just doesn't work out just that simple. Sometimes over time, the family warms up. Eventually, they warm up to that person. Or either they just go ahead on and accept them because he is not leaving her. If you love your brother or whoever it is, then you should love for them the things that they love for themselves. That's very important. So yes, family can be toxic. And why subject yourself to a toxic environment? And especially your prospective spouse. You two must bond together. The two of you. And make your life as fulfilling and as satisfying and secure as possible. Eventually and hopefully they'll come around. If they don't, oh well, I can love you where you are. I can love you from afar. But I'm not going to give up my own happiness, my own peace, my own love. I'm not going to sacrifice that for you. So if he has noticed that coldness, then he will try to avoid situations like that, placing her in an environment that he knows is toxic. And so they should discuss that, but tighten their bonds to each other if they truly fit, if they're truly a match. Love each other. It conquers all. The love between two individuals, male and female, it can surmount any problem, any situation, any circumstance. It is Almighty God says it is He. It is He, it is God. He who has placed love between your hearts. So we can sometimes we can't even choose who we love. We just love them. We love them because God has placed that within our hearts. Don't sacrifice your personal life, your personal peace, your personal security, your personal happiness for your family. I can love my family right where they are, and I do love them. But I will not subject myself nor my spouse to an unwelcoming environment. If you truly love me, then you will respect. You will respect what I love, the choice I've made in my life. If you truly love me. So that's my verdict on that. I'll stop right there.
Well, I think that is the best position to have once you've made a choice of your own partner in life. That's your life. And I mean, your family is your family, but this is your life. This is who you're going home to. This is who you're making a household with. And your family's not going to be in your household unless you invite them in. So if they don't like the one you love, if they don't like your spouse, they don't like your spouse to be, they don't like the person you've chosen, oh well, and now the thing about the family gatherings, that gets to be a painful thing. If you know that you're going to be bringing someone to a family gathering and your family's not going to be kind, why would you subject somebody that you care about to that? And that's another thing. You got to be sensitive about that, because if that is what's happening, your loved one has a right to say, I don't want to go around your family. They're not nice to me. And you can't, oh, just come on, respect their wish to not experience that. Because how would you like it if you're made to feel like an outsider or unwelcome or being talked to really, rudely or whatever? I mean, these are things that you have to be sensitive about when you're building a relationship with someone that you want to last. Because sometimes it's that family relationship that unravels a marriage. Too many incidences of disrespect from the family, that can really wear on you. So in the vein of disrespect, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we want to give you another situation where someone allowed a level of disrespect to their spouse, and it caused a very big rift, because then the in-laws from the other side got involved, and so now you got a family feud. So how should the couple have handled that? We'll talk about that when we come back. And if you are watching us on the On Air Radio Network channel, then you, of course, can write in your comments. And if you are listening, you watching on any of our Facebook or YouTube channels, any other channel, of course, you can write in your comments. We'll share them with our listening and viewing audience. And if this show resonates with you, share it with friends who might also be experiencing this in this holiday season of family gatherings. We want everybody to feel welcome, but sometimes they don't. So call in 727-731-5192, or you can call in on a Blog Talk channel 515-605-9891 on the American Muslim 360 channel. And we will be right back after this quick break. So stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating, empowering, interactive conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Gathering of the Griots with Asada. Wednesdays, Repairing Family Relationships with Naima and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Veggie Brunch Live with Angela. Fridays, Health and Well-Being with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Global Talks with Zana. Second Saturday, Walk in Your Divine Authority with Mama Joy. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. Fourth Saturday, be a judge on the virtual Teens, Tweens, and Tots Talent Contest. And fifth Saturday, join us on location as we conversate at the Elevate Cafe, owner Jackie Brooks. Sundays, join us 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Go to thefemalesolution.com to join us on our video or audio live streaming platforms. Listen at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in on the Blog Talk Radio Network 515-605-9325, or call in and comment on the On-Air Radio Network 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you.
I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're three Black moms.
And in case you didn't notice the resemblance, we're also three sisters.
We're going to be coming to you every week, sharing our successes and our mistakes as we navigate our lives as moms, wives, sisters, daughters, and of course, Black women in today's world.
We'll talk about it all. Race, politics, religion, economics, culture, and we'll take a look at everything from whether or not to use corporal punishment to how do you teach your children about sex.
Look for our upcoming book, Growing Up Charles. It's a personal story about our lives growing up in Maple Park on Chicago's South Side. I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're three Black moms. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Three Black Moms.
And we are back. You're listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. And I'm Naima Latif, along with our co-host Kareem Hamid and our American Muslim 360 family. And as always, we invite you to be a part of the discussion because it's all about family. And today we want to take a look at a situation that's very common in families. What happens if your family doesn't like the one you love? Well, of course, our first situation, Kareem, was certainly prolific in reminding us that your first responsibility is to the one you love. And so that should be what you consider as you and of course, we recognize one of the issues that happens, especially if there is a divorce.
Huh? Okay, I see Naima is back with us.
Yes. So yes, so understand Bilal called in. I think I heard right before we disconnected.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. He called in and he agrees with the statement that I made concerning your choice of a spouse. You know, you're not choosing a pair of shoes that may not last you all of your life. You're not choosing a piece of clothing or an article. This is another human being that you are choosing to have in your life. Very valuable to that we connect as human beings, and especially at that level, at the sacred bond of marriage. It is very important. It is serious. So establishing the peace between the male and the female, especially in this day and time, is very important. It is very important that we coalesce with each other and become one body, you know, one soul for real. And that is a choice that every individual has to make for themselves.
Yes.
I can't choose yours for you. You have to make that choice. And it should be based upon your decision. That's all I can say. It's your decision. I may not like everything about that person, but that person is making you happy. They are bringing joy and peace in your life, and I love you. And this person is bringing joy and peace, then I should be pleased that that person is bringing joy and peace in my loved one's life, in my brother's life, in my sister's life, in my mother's life, in whatever life. I should appreciate that. I should be grateful for that. Because these are choices that are lifetime choices.
Yes.
In a lot of cases. You know, we have what's called empty nesters now.
Yes.
Empty nesters are those of us that have reached our senior age. Yes. Our children are grown. They have established a life for themselves. You did an excellent job sacrificing for them, raising them, providing for them. But they're gone.
Right.
And your purpose in life has shifted. You always be a parent, but not to the degree that you were when they lived with you. And there you sit. I heard a woman say once, she had dedicated her whole life to her family. And her spouse passed. The children moved on with their life.
Yes.
They might visit every now and then. And she made the statement, I believe I have wasted my whole life because I have no one to love me. Not at that
Wow.
level.
Wow. That's something to remember. you know, and I'll tell you before I go to the next caller. Um, you know, those people who know me well, you know, I've been widowed for about 17 years, and in that time, uh, you know, there have been various males who have been interested, and my daughter, who was very close to her father, of course, she liked none of them. And it finally occurred to me that she's never going to bond with another male the way she bonded with her father. That's a special relationship. And that probably will not happen again with someone that I would choose to be part of my life. It has an effect because I feel bad when, and she's always polite, always respectful. But there's a difference between polite and warm. And if you know her, you know when she's being polite and not warm. And I finally came to the conclusion, like you just said, that there's a point where she's going to have her own life. And she's grown now. She travels all over the world than the job that she does. So she's gone. I mean, she's living her life right now. So even at the point where she's ready to get married, have a family, have children, and all of that. And that's wonderful. I'm sure I'll be a very involved grandmother. But if I had to wait for her to decide she approved of someone in my life, I'd be like that woman alone. And I finally had to realize this is the emotion that she has. And she has a right to miss her father. And she has a right to feel that no other man is going to measure up. And certainly no other man is going to have the qualities that her father had. And I realized that. And I knew after the first couple of years, I'm like, okay, I can't, it's not fair to anybody to be comparing them to my previous spouse or my spouse that we went the distance, we went the, you know, all the way to the end. And the marriage lasted until one of us departed this life. And so anyone else coming after him is going to be a different kind of person. But the fact is, I am a different person. I am not the same woman I was when I married him. So I can't look for someone with the exact same qualities because I'm not the exact same person. But I also realize that when there's when a spouse passes away, that's a different kind of ending than a divorce, because with a divorce, sometimes your children are always kind of hoping that there's a reconciliation. And so when a new person steps in, they're seen as interfering with the reconciliation that the children hope will happen. And I know when I got married, you know, and my husband had been married before, of course, and that marriage ended. But I made a point to make sure I was never at odds with his previous wife because I knew that would have an emotional impact on the children. And I knew that it was hurtful when he got married because if they had any hopes of reconciliation, they realized that our marriage ended that hope. So I was sensitive to that reality. And one of our very last family gatherings, we were all at my brother-in-law's house, and his previous wife was there as well. And you know, he was kind of going through the last stages of his illness, and so it was a time for us to gather and celebrate. I think it was Thanksgiving, and we were all at my brother-in-law's house, and we were all watching a movie together. And I was actually braiding his previous wife's hair. And so I looked at my husband and I saw the look of peace on his face. It's like, oh, my family is in harmony. Everybody's together. And, you know, now I can move on. I see everybody's going to be okay. So I knew that was important for him, for there not to be any disharmony between his children, his new wife, his previous wife, his, family, his mother, his brothers, all of that. So harmony was important, even for him to feel like he could leave this world in peace. If I and his previous wife had been at odds and fighting and angry, that would have hurt him. It would have hurt the children. So it is important to know how to bring peace and to be at peace and to understand that everybody is affected when there is a rift, especially when there's a second marriage, when one marriage ends and you bring someone else into the family, and maybe other family members really like that other person, or whatever the case may be. You got children from the other marriage and all of that. So, and then when there's family gatherings, those things tend to be highlighted, especially if the ex isn't present and the children are feeling badly that they're, if you're the step parent and the children are feeling badly that their parent can't be present because you're now there, and so the other parent is alone during the holiday. So that's a bad feeling. So we were always able to include everybody because that's what would bring peace to everybody's heart. If one of the children hosted the party, one of my, daughters by marriage, if she hosted a party, she'd want her mother there. And, so we've had those gatherings where everybody was there. So that means you have to know how to create peace, even in a situation where there's been an ending of a marriage. A lot of people don't know how to do that because there's a feeling of hurt, maybe of being replaced, or maybe, maybe a new spouse is feeling uneasy because, maybe there's still feelings between the previous couple, and maybe they're insecure, all those kind of things. But you got to deal with that. And as we get older, there's more likelihood that this isn't going to be the first marriage for one or both of the parties. So you have to be able to define how you're going to handle the family gatherings where no one feels hurt. Grown children, like you say, we got the empty nesters. The grown children are not feeling badly because, their parent is not included. All of those things you have to be sensitive to. And that requires a level of maturity. And not everybody has that level of maturity. But, I've been through the various situations, and now I'm at the point. And, anytime if I bring somebody around the family, then my family knows, okay, this is somebody, this is somebody in your life. And I brought somebody around the family, and they know, okay, well, this guy's cool. Okay. And that person has been okay with my family, but, there were issues that were unresolvable. But at least my family, for the most part, accepted the fact that I am possibly going to have another person in my life at some point. But I understand my daughter probably will not warm up to them because of how she feels. And I respect that, but I also understand, like you say, one day she's gonna be gone, I'll be by myself. So, I need to handle my own life. Yes.
Your prospective husband, it has to be understood that he is not applying to replace the position of an absent parent.
Right.
I'm not applying to be your father will always be your father.
Right.
And you should respect him. I respect him for having raised you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not applying to be your, I can never replace your father.
Yes.
But I can be a husband and a companion and a partner with your parent.
Right.
That's what I'm applying for.
Yes.
You know, my sister married someone, and they have been married for 57 years. At the beginning, I had reservations, but I saw that every time I saw her, she had a smile on her face. She was happy. She was making her feel good, you know. So that endeared me to him. And as time went on, he and I grew somewhat closer, but it was based upon I loved her. I love my sister. And I see the joy that and the peace that he has brought into her life. So, a matter of fact, him and her have invited the family over for dinner this evening. And he wrote in on me. He wants him and I to sit and watch the football game. We can do that.
Yeah.
So these are very, yes, family is important, but at the same time, save yourself. What about you? Save yourself. God says, save yourself and your family from a fire whose fuel is men and stone. Unleavened stone and a irrational mind and a stony heart. A stony heart, cold, unfeeling.
Yes.
So, you know, the family should look at how their loved one is enjoying their relationship. And be happy for them.
Yes.
No, he's not yours. You didn't choose him for you. He or she chose.
Yes.
Chose them for their own personal enjoyment, security, peace of mind, all of that. They come laughter, enjoying experiences together. That's very important. We would love it if everyone loved our mate, but they don't have to love them, but respect them. Out of love for me. Out of love for me.
Yes.
This is important. Yeah.
And
if you really love me, then you would be grateful that I'm safe and secure. And I'm happy. All of that. You should be happy for me.
That's it.
You know, so these are the things that truly matter. When they leave, when that couple leaves, they are going back to their habitat. You know, and if they are married, they would develop a very personal, intimate life with each other.
Yes.
Very important. So we would like it if our family loved our choices. But they should look at the result, look at the effect that person is having on their loved one.
Yeah.
She shows up with black eyes.
Ooh.
She shows up and she's been crying. She shows up and her mouth is pooched way out and all of that. Well, now wait a minute.
Then you got to step in and say, oh, wait a minute, this doesn't look like this somebody that's good for you. You know. Yeah.
I've noticed you're so down lately, so depressed. You're angry all the time. Well, yeah, see, because he's such or she's such and such a smile.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if a person's making you miserable, yeah.
Yes. So as families, we have an obligation to our loved ones.
Yes.
How do we make our loved ones feel? How do I make my brother feel? How do I make my sister feel?
Mm-hmm.
Especially about personal choice that they made for their life. And they're happy. And I'm sitting around brooding and coming up with all kinds of negative reasons why I don't. Well, he's not asking to marry me. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He or she is not asking to marry me.
Yes. I mean, if you see that, yeah. I mean, if you see that this person is making, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, whatever, they're making them happy, then, like you say, they should be happy for you, as opposed to, well, I don't like him, I don't like her. Yeah, but if they're bringing joy into the life of someone you care about, then that should make you happy, and you should be supportive of that, even if that's not your choice for them, or you don't like whatever quality that person has. But if they like it and they're pleased with it, and that person's treating them well, then be happy for them. Yes. That's what should happen. So a lot of times, people just, they can get stuck on a previous partner. I'm gonna share with you this situation, and we'll take a break, and we'll come back and get your comments about it. Jennifer and Greg, are engaged to be married, but of course, this is not Greg's first marriage, and he's got children, and naturally, there's a history. Now, Greg's mother really liked his previous wife. Friends, they hung out together, and that was the kind of relation they had, and it was wonderful. So it was hard for his mother when Greg and Betty split. However, they did split, and he did find someone else. And the choice he made, well, maybe it's unfortunate, but it happens. Jennifer is the person that he met that ultimately caused him to decide to leave Betty. So the family, Gregory's family kind of sees Jennifer as the home wrecker. And they are angry at her because they feel her presence destroyed the family. So at a recent family gathering, because the divorce has been, they've been divorced for almost a year. But the family gathering, Gregory's mother decided that she was going to invite her previous daughter-in-law. It was a birthday celebration, the mother's birthday. And so she wanted her ex-daughter-in-law to be present. Sure, of course, the grandchildren, everybody was there. So Gregory brought his fiance, Jennifer, because that's going to be his spouse, to his mother's birthday party. Well, it didn't go well. The mother was not kind, and there was an argument. Those arguments you have in the other room where everybody can hear it. Back in the kitchen. Why is she here? I didn't tell you to bring her. This is so and so and so and so. So, Jennifer's hearing this, in another room, and the people hearing it. So it was very hurtful. So she ultimately decided to leave before the ending of the party. And it was very hurtful to Greg. He left, and there was anger. And Jennifer's family heard about it. And Jennifer had a family member that called up Greg and cussed him out for putting Jennifer through that. And, some words were exchanged and names called that aren't very polite. And so now, of course, Gregory's feeling devastated because this is a big blow up because he was trying to bring his wife to be into the family. The mother felt like, well, this is my birthday party. I decide who's welcome. She's not welcome. And Greg's feeling like, but that's no longer my wife. Why are you bringing her? And, his mother's feeling like, but this is like a daughter to me. Even if you all broke up, that shouldn't end my relationship with someone who for years has been my daughter. So it's complicated, but it's simple. If everybody can respect everybody, that would help. But, it's hard because it's his mother's birthday party. She has a right to have who she has. But if she wants her son there, she has to also, in my opinion, respect the fact that her son has another person. So, I mean, her son could have said, well, okay, I'm sorry, Jennifer, you can't come because my mother doesn't like you, which would have been even more hurtful. So, I mean, how could he have handled that situation? Is there a way to handle that situation? We're going to take a quick break and come back, and we want you all to weigh in on this. You can call us on the On Air Radio Network at 727-731-5192. If you go to onaireverywhere.com and hit the On Air Radio Network page, you can be connected to us and see us visually. I got a nice, handsome picture of our co-host Kareem Hamid on the screen. You can see it. If he seems like he's kind of stiff, it's because it's a still photo. He's not moving. But of course, as you can hear his voice, he's very animated. We're going to take a quick break and come right back. And we want to get your thoughts about this latest family situation. Should the mother-in-law, or should the mother have welcomed her daughter-in-law to be? Should she have invited the previous daughter-in-law? And is there a way for everybody to get along? That's the question. Can you get along even if one person is no longer the legal spouse? That's the question. We'll be right back after this quick break. So we want you all to stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be back after this brief message. So stay with us.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif. And if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money. The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating, empowering, interactive conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Gathering of the Griots with Asada. Wednesdays, Repairing Family Relationships with Naima and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Veggie Brunch Live with Angela. Fridays, Health and Well-Being with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Global Talks with Zana. Second Saturday, Walk in Your Divine Authority with Mama Joy. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. Fourth Saturday, Be a judge on the virtual Teens, Tweens, and Tots Talent Contest. And fifth Saturday, join us on location as we conversate at the Elevate Cafe, owner Jackie Brooks. Sundays, join us 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Go to thefemalesolution.com to join us on our video or audio live streaming platforms. Listen at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in on the Blog Talk Radio Network 515-605-9325 or call in and comment on the On Air Radio Network 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you.
And we are back. You're listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, and we are here on the On Air Radio Network along with our Blog Talk channel. And for those of you who have not yet, you can go to onaireverywhere.com and simply go to the On Air Radio page link. I'm going to bring that up so you can see it. And we want you to have the opportunity to listen in and call in. And of course, all you have to do is just scroll down and hit listen now, and you're going to be able to hear us on the On Air Radio Network. You'll be able to see us right there. So we want you to connect. And of course, you can always make comments. You can write in your comments, but of course, you can call in the number as we've put it on the screen, 727-731-5192, because we want to hear from you. We're so excited to expand to the On Air Radio Network. Blog Talk has let it be known that they are phasing out at the end of January. We appreciate Blog Talk for all the years that we have been recording our shows. You'll be able to hear some of the archive shows on the On Air Radio Network, because we have produced 12 years of really fabulous shows. Had our wonderful co-host Kareem Hamid and all of those who have participated over the years. Of course, my wonderful team of hosts every day producing programming. So you'll get a chance to listen to some of those shows as you also join us live each morning and interact and share your wisdom, because our goal is to raise global consciousness, to help people live better, to help people be more sensitive to each other's needs. And our particular Wednesday shows, we like to work on healing family relationships, because that's kind of where everything starts, in your home, with your spouse, your children, your parents, your siblings. And we take whatever's happening in our home into the world. And that's why the world looks the way it looks, because our household is raggedy. But we can make it better if we simply choose to love. And we say that every day. So we're back with our co-host Kareem Hamid, and we're excited because we know that you all have the answers to these issues with your wisdom that comes from your experience. But we've shared with you yet another family situation where the family rejected someone's loved one. The wife-to-be, the fiance, was not welcomed at the mother's birthday party, and the son was hurt because his mother invited his ex, who his mother loved. I mean, that was her running buddy. They were friends and everything. And, they hung out over the years with the children and all of that. And so she was kind of devastated when Greg divorced Betty. His mother was devastated. And she really wanted the two of them to work it out, but they couldn't. The marriage was over, for various reasons. One of the reasons, Jennifer had come into his life, and this is who he, well, that happened. He was seeing her while he was still married. Well, okay. Whether you judge that or not, the reality is he divorced Betty and is engaged to Jennifer, and brought Jennifer to his mother's birthday party, hoping that the family could see, okay, this is the woman I am now officially going to marry. However, the family, particularly his mother, kind of sees her as the home wrecker and isn't going to end her relationship with her previous daughter-in-law. And let it be known that Jennifer was not welcome at her birthday party. So it was hurtful. Jennifer left in hurt feelings. Her family was angry that Gregory allowed that to happen. He felt like, what could I have done? I can't make my mother like somebody. I can't make her not have said what she said. So there have been words exchanged. And now, of course, the couple is realizing their families are at odds. How are you gonna plan a wedding now and everybody hates everybody? It's hard. How do you move forward with that? So, Kareem, what are your thoughts on that? It's it's unfortunate, but people are who they are, and sometimes in defending someone else, you can make a situation worse. But how do you try to mend that rift and just say, okay, well, you know what, you and me against the world, because our families, they're not going to get along now, and it's just, we're not going to even worry about it. I mean, how, do you build a relationship based on that? How do you handle that?
Well, there are some realities that have to be acknowledged. The mother is expressing how she feels. That's her reality. That is her reality.
Mm-hmm.
But also, as her son, I have my own reality. No one knows what goes on behind closed doors. She loves her daughter-in-law from the position of being her mother-in-law and a so-called friend. But she doesn't live with her. We don't know what the issues were behind closed doors. So she can still love her daughter-in-law. They can still interact with each other. Love does not just cut on and off like that. But at the same time, I would suggest to Greg, that he have a serious conversation with his mother, in regards to the choices that he has made in his life. And he would like that his choices to be respected. You don't have to love them. You don't have to love my choices, but respect me enough. Respect me enough as to honor the choices that I've made in my life. We don't want to break up the friendship that his mother has with his previous spouse. That's laudable. Praise be to Almighty God. But at the same time, I know our heart is very expansive. Our heart is not limited. The heart can expand over the whole creation. I have the possibility to love more than one person. There's enough room in my heart to love other people. And as time goes on, inshallah, God willing, her mother will gravitate to at least a healthy respect for her son's wife. It is bad to come in between a man and his wife, or a wife and her husband. That is very, very, very serious. That is a huge infraction. So he should have a serious conversation with his mother. You know, he should. And the ex-wife that is no longer with him, divorced from him, the marriage is over. She needs to express that to her ex-mother-in-law. You know, she needs to express that. Look, Mama, you know, we had a wonderful marriage up to a right? You know, but I'm no longer married to him anymore. He is not my husband. He has another wife. In the same way you respected my marriage to him, I'm asking you to at least respect the marriage that he has with his present wife. It takes a big person, you know, to look at a thing in its totality, and not just from a selfish interest or concerning a circumstance or a situation. So I would suggest to him that he have a serious heart-to-heart talk with his mother. And it wouldn't hurt if he could garner the support of his ex-spouse.
Yes.
If the ex-spouse, if she expressed a respect for his choice, for his marriage, if she met someone, it would be the same thing. He should respect her choices. And over time, hopefully, Mama will evolve. She may not love her to the degree that she loved the first wife, but there can be a comparable medium of getting along, of respect for each other, appreciating each other. That's very important. So he is in they say a catch-22, but not really. Not if he, you know, Almighty God says he speaks of those that demand their mutual rights.
Yes.
Demand their mutual rights. Mama, I have a right to my life. I demand that I have a right to my life. The life that you gave me. I love you. But respect the choices that I made, and at least be civil. You didn't raise me up to be hateful. You didn't raise me up to be spiteful.
Yes.
You know? Put the onus where it needs to be. Mama got a role to play. She will always be his mother. She will always be his parent. Parent at the end, at a certain age, the parent's main concern is the comfort and the security of their children.
Yes.
So if he's comfortable and secure, then you should appreciate that which brought that peace, that comfort, and that security in your son's life.
Yes.
You should respect that. That's very precious. And you can continue your friendship with your quasi-daughters. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, love your son as you loved your daughter-in-law. So this is very important. This is important. It's not to break relationships up. Relationships can be extended and grow. So that's my position on that. Mama needs to somewhat check. You know, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way.
But yeah.
Yeah, she needs to check herself. How am I making my son feel? This is not, how am I making him feel?
Yeah. Well,
So
that's yeah.
we never finish parenting.
Right.
Parenting is a forever thankless job.
Mm-hmm.
Forever. As long as you are that. You are a parent. My son is happy, he's secure. The marriage, his previous marriage is over. I accept that. I love his previous spouse. I love her. And I can love her in my own way, but I can also respect the choices that my son has made in his life. This woman is bringing peace and joy to him. I should treasure her.
Mm-hmm.
We have to come out of our own feelings and think of those that we have an effect upon.
Yes.
Very important. It's not a don't be selfish. Love is not selfish. Praise be to Allah. Love is not selfish. It's very expansive. The heart is not selfish. There are no limits to the environment of the heart. If we just open those doors and step on in and actuate the heart, the emotions, the feelings, and have a healthy respect for each other. That's my suggestion to him and his mother.
Yes. Well, all of that makes a lot of sense if people have the maturity to take those steps. Unfortunately, most people don't have the maturity. When they get to that point where they would be that insensitive, is because they don't have the maturity. And that's what's challenging. And here's a point I'd like to bring out, not to be judgmental at all. But if you're seeing someone, how you get into a relationship, it's like anything else. How it starts is going to affect how it develops. If you get involved with someone and they are ending a marriage, it's going to get messy simply because the marriage is not officially over. So even though the two of them are considering being in a relationship or considering marriage, they've been seeing each other while one of them was still married. And so when you create that situation, yes, because number one, what was the ex-wife really planning to end that marriage, or was it because technically he was being unfaithful? They were, even if the marriage was bad, still they weren't quite divorced when he began a new relationship. So if you start a relationship before you have officially ended a relationship, you're going to create problems with the new relationship simply because it came about during a time where it would have been considered as inappropriate. And sometimes things happen. I mean, we're all human. So if a mother-in-law looks at a situation of, well, this new woman was not welcome in our family. She broke up his marriage and now she wants me to treat her like she's a daughter-in-law. No. She's the side chick that wormed her way into my son's life and caused him to not see the good woman that he had, and now she wants to come around the family. I mean, that's the mother's point of view. So she's not respecting the relationship because she felt like it started in a way that was not respectful of the marriage. And again, I'm not judging. Things happen. People meet people. And generally, if you're, I mean, nobody takes somebody from somebody. If you're in a marriage or any kind of supposed to be committed relationship, if you're not happy, then you start looking elsewhere, or maybe you start expressing your unhappiness with someone of the opposite sex, which you're asking for trouble when you do that, but that happens. So you're already not, something in your relationship isn't working, and often people will turn to someone else because they can't fix what's not working in the relationship. And then if they turn to someone else and that someone else seems to make them happy, whereas maybe the spouse didn't, then next thing you know, the marriage is over. Well, maybe it was already on the rocks, but I think people have to think about how you begin something. If you begin a relationship with someone while you are still married to someone else, then that new person isn't going to get the respect that they deserve because you haven't officially ended your marriage. And, there's always that space in between. Okay, my marriage is ending. I'm getting divorced. I'm seeing this new person. I'm not quite divorced. Maybe the ex is angry, but maybe the anger is because I'm seeing this new person. I mean, so that's the kind of a complication that's created when you get involved with someone before you have officially ended your marriage. And yet sometimes the new person is an incentive for you not to try to work on the marriage, because it's like, okay, I'm done with them, that they're not making me happy, this new person is, so I'm gone. Those kind of things always end up hurtful, simply because the infidelity issue is kind of at the root of the new relationship. And that's what makes ending a marriage so painful. At what point could it have been saved? Could it have been saved? Could it not have been saved? Would it have continued on in an unhappy state if, you know, if a new person had not been introduced? And people have to think about that. If you're in a marriage that you're not pleased with, either fix it or let it go before you start dating someone else and you're still married. Because this kind of thing can come up. You want the family to accept the person that you've been seeing while married to someone else. They are going to be less than respectful because of the circumstances. So those are things to think about. And it's not an easy thing. It's not cut and dry.
There are certain departments in life that are prohibited.
Yeah.
Adultery.
Yeah.
You don't hear too much talk about committing adultery. That is a grave sin. Almighty God has judged that. Adultery and fornication. We just toss that away as if that doesn't matter anymore. You can just sleep with whoever you want to sleep with. I have heard men answer the question. A woman asks, "Are you married?" And he'll say, "My wife is."
Oh. That's so awful.
That's a big sin. That's a big problem. In Islam, when there's trouble in the marriage, both parties should bring forward their family members to hear them out. Let's discuss what is taking place, to plead your case, to state what is the problem. But you have to choose right. You choose wise family members. And inshallah, they can give you advice and encouragement to save the marriage. But Almighty God says that if both are still adamant on separation, then separate with equity, with good feelings. We accept that it's over. But still, even with that said, God says to us, there's a period called Edat. Edat. Edat equates to a 3-month waiting period, even after you have resolved that the marriage is over. Before you enter into another relationship, Almighty God says, let 3 months pass over you. Why? Why? Because the spouse that you're separating from, she may be pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
She may be.
Yeah. So that changes things sometimes. Yeah.
Right. Or over that 3-month period, the fires cool off. You have a chance to think.
Yeah.
Reflect.
Yeah.
And sometimes over that period, you say, wait a minute, hold it, stop, wait a minute, stop to hold it. What am I doing?
Right.
You know? What are we doing? Hold it. And over that 3-month period, sometimes they reconcile. But don't enter into, if a person will not respect the marriage that they're in, they still to enter into an amorous relationship with you. That's a big warning sign.
Yeah.
That's a big value equation that has to be made. So that's a clear. So when you start off like that, I have heard it said, well, when I met you, you was cheating on your wife. Why do I not think that you aren't cheating on me?
Mm-hmm.
That's how we met. We committed adultery. So I'm just saying, we want a safe and secure relationship. And how it begins is very important.
Yes.
How the relationship begins. Don't enter into. You know, I have a very good friend of mine, and may God forgive him his sins and grant him the home in the paradise. He passed away last Saturday. Very close friend of mine. And I witnessed him and his ex-spouse. They were going through so much trauma. It was a very tough situation. I mean, always arguing, always about anything. You know. And that went on for 23. From what he said, for 23 years.
Wow.
He was when she was too.
And why did they stay together?
Well, they eventually separated. And years ago, he had met someone, and he could tell that woman liked him, and he liked her. But they didn't carry it any further. They went on their way, living their lives. But after the separation, just by chance, they ran into each other.
Oh.
And rekindled what they felt for each other. I've never seen him at such peace.
Wow.
And so happy.
Wow.
You're for real. I mean, I let her know. You are a blessing in his life. She said, I know you with me some of the trauma. But he has since passed. But at least before he passed, he experienced peace
Yes.
and tranquility
Yes.
in his life. They did not enter into an amorous relationship behind his other paramours back.
Yeah.
And years later, they ran into each other. So these are some of the circumstances. Don't enter into adultery. You're only setting yourself up, the family, and everybody.
Yeah.
For tragedy.
Yeah. That's what happens. How you enter into it is going to have an impact with your level of trust of each other, the family's respect for the relationship. All of those things matter. And there's nothing more hurtful than being disrespected by a family because they felt like, you were just a side chick, or whatever the case may be. So not respecting you as a position of wife because you came into the situation when there was already a wife present or whatever, it's just knowing how to do things in order. Yes.
We have two callers here on the 836.
Okay. All right. Well, we got to take a quick break and this hold on. We're going to take one last quick break and we come right back and go directly to our callers. We'll be right back after this quick break. So stick and stay. Don't stray away. And we will get to our callers on the American Muslim 360 line and find out what you think about how do you handle it when your family does not like your loved one. We'll be right back. So stay with us. The Female Solution Global Radio TV show invites you to an invigorating, empowering, interactive conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Gathering of the Griots with Asada. Wednesdays, Repairing Family Relationships with Naima and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Veggie Brunch Live with Angela. Fridays, Health and Well-Being with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Global Talks with Zana. Second Saturday, Walk in Your Divine Authority with Mama Joy. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. Fourth Saturday, be a judge on the virtual Teens, Tweens, and Tots Talent Contest. And fifth Saturday, join us on location as we conversate at the Elevate Cafe, owner Jackie Brooks. Sundays, join us 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Go to thefemalesolution.com to join us on our video or audio live streaming platforms. Listen at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in on the Blog Talk Radio Network 515-605-9325 or call in and comment on the On Air Radio Network 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you. And we are back. You are listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, along with our co-hosts Kareem Hamid and our American Muslim 360 family. And we are live on the On Air Radio Network. And you can go to onaireverywhere.com and hit the On Air Radio Network page and just where it says listen now. It'll bring you right to our face where you can see me and see our co-hosts up there on the screen. And feel free to write in your comments about today's topic. We are taking a look at what happens when your family doesn't like the one you love. And these kind of things are highlighted in these times of family gatherings when you're bringing the person you're serious about around your family and you want to see how they fit in, and sometimes they don't. How do you handle it? Well, we've got some callers on the line that want to weigh in on this last situation where a relationship was began before a marriage ended, and the mother had a birthday party where she invited her former daughter-in-law and said to the son that his girlfriend, fiance, whatever her situation was, she wasn't welcome. She's a home wrecker. I don't want her at my party. That was hurtful. But, well, how could that be handled if they're going to have future relations? So let's bring in our callers and get their thoughts on this situation.
Okay, 773-449. Please state your name and where you're calling from, please.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Samir Muhammad Shaheed from Chicago. Greetings to the both of you all. Oh, God, this is what they call real talk, real conversation. So anybody listening better be prepared for what they may hear. I think that, first of all, how you end a situation determines the outcome. And if you are a person, whether it's a sister or a brother, and you're still in a relationship, or you're still in a marriage, and you bring someone else into the relationship, you're asking for trouble. And sometimes we don't do our due diligence in the proper closure of the relationships. And a lot of times it can hurt and trauma to the other party. Now, the mother that invited her ex-daughter-in-law, that was her privilege to do that. And especially if they've had a lasting, good, long-term relationship, then she still cares for her daughter-in-law. So what the son should have did was to talk to his mother about bringing the new person into her, to the her event, and see was it okay with the mother. And if it wasn't, then he had to just accept that either he don't come, but rather than just be upset about her, the mother not wanting the new girlfriend to come, then he could have made a choice for himself, because it was her right to make the decision on that. Another thing I want to talk about, what you all just talked about, as far as ending our relationship, especially I want to say in our Muslim community, because we know what happens out in the world and we don't pattern our character from that. There's a proper way that Allah says you enter doors and you leave out of doors. And if we don't do it properly, someone is going to get hurt. And we have a lot of these what we call solar marriages, where a lot of times it's taken advantage of because they don't want to get married in the courts, because their responsibility is really carried out in the way it's supposed to be. But then they'll use solar marriages to come in, come out, say, I divorced you 3 times, or so on and so forth. And then a lot of times they are, I say brothers, maybe some sisters, they want to leave the relationship, but they don't want to talk about what happened, that they made the decision to leave the relationship. They'll throw you into a that period, or make things to fit their category of what they want to do. When Allah say take parties, like Brother Me said, take parties from both sides and talk about what's going on. Maybe the relationship can be, saved, but a lot of times they won't do that because they have their own agenda. They have their own agenda. And they'll go off and they'll marry someone else, and then they may not tell the truth about what happened in the previous relationship. And they traumatized, and this happens a lot in our own community. And it must be addressed, it must stay at the forefront, it must be dealt with, because there's too much hurt, there's too much pain coming out of this. And there's a proper way to do things. And, adultery is not on our agenda. It's not on our agenda. But we don't want our community to look like Peyton Place, where everybody's just marrying everybody, and the children, if you got children, they get hurt because they see their parents with, other people, and sometimes more than one, twice, or even 3 times, and you like circling around, circling around different partners. It's really, it paints a bad picture. It really paints a bad picture for our community, and this is a sacred community, and we have to value Allah's way, will, and word, and we can't make it to fit our personal agenda. And when we see someone doing that, we have to bring it to their attention. We have to bring it to the forefront. Some people say, well, it ain't none of my business. Just cover it up. No, don't cover it up. Unconceal it and reveal it so they can be solved, and we can have the community that Allah originally created for us. So we have to get involved, even though some people say certain people personal business is not our business. If you're in this community, it's our business. It's our business. So we want to have a model community. And I feel like this here, and I've been in this community since I was 6 years old, and I'm 71 now.
Wow.
My parents didn't sacrifice they made was to turn out like this here. And I feel like this: if you're not going to obey what Allah means for us, then this is not the place for you. This is not the place for you. Go out there and join the ones that want to be rebellious, because we don't want that kind of toxic, negative energy in our community. We strive to be obedient to Allah, and nothing should stand in the way of that. And I stop there.
Walaikum salam. Thank you so much, sister. Oh, yes, yes.
Very prevalent to avoid, the legal ramifications, the legal obligation that I can just say, I divorce you, and walk away with your hands clean. In the fourth surah of the Quran, entitled Nisa, the women, Almighty God lays out in detail the laws of inheritance. It is a legal rendering. The laws of inheritance. There is a legal obligation connected with marriage and the family.
Yes.
Trying to avoid the legal responsibility. Allah will hold you accountable for that.
And there's another part of it when you're supposed to have maintenance that goes where you leave the sister in the condition better than she was when you married her. And some don't want to give one dime, not one dime towards maintenance. And you can tell them what you have in a situation. Yeah. And they run away from that. And they feel like nobody can make them do anything, and that's where the problem come in when you try to address these issues with some of these males and they turn a deaf ear and the sister is left traumatized. Sometimes it means emotional, psychological, mental trauma. And that's real talk.
I've seen it.
I really don't want to put all of it on the males either.
It could be said, male, but it's a situation. It's a situation. It's prevalent. I don't think it must be addressed and kept at the forefront until it's resolved.
Okay, I thank you, Sister Amira, for your contribution.
Yes.
Valuable insight.
Thank you so much. And she brings up a common situation that we're seeing even more of. People not wanting to deal with a legal marriage because especially if they've had an ugly divorce that was painful, maybe costly, so they don't want to have that contract with the state, which is what a legal marriage is. But with that comes a lot of things. It comes with your legal rights of inheritance, your legal responsibilities to your spouse should they get sick or infirm or whatever, your legal responsibilities to other family members, children who might be of minor age, all kinds of things. So when you don't have that document that is a contract with the state saying I'm going to be a responsible partner to this person, then a lot of times the community, your family, will not respect your relationship, even though you might be loving and committed to each other. But not taking that step makes a statement. It still says I'm temporary in your life. And I've known people that have had unmarried partners for 10, 15, 20 years. And for whatever reason, they chose not to make it legal. And then when one of them passed away, it created a big mess because now you've got, okay, you're living in this house, but you weren't the spouse. So the family's saying, well, you're not the spouse, so you don't inherit the house. You got to get out. I mean, I've seen that happen. So it's all kinds of things, but she's right. Those sometimes people are trying to avoid certain responsibilities because they've had bad memories, but you're still causing more hurt trying to do things, underground, not involving the legal system. And even if you say, okay, we're doing it according to our Muslim law, but you're living in a state where there are responsibilities to the state. So we have to figure out how to fix that.
You know, Naima, I just heard the verbiage used, a contract between the spouse and the state.
That's what it is.
That is incorrect. No, ma'am. The contract is between both spouses. They should draw up a contract that they both agree on.
We've been saying that for a long time. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, we ought to have a marital contract before marriage. And that contract is between both of them. Now, the state is only one that will adjudicate that contract if necessary. If necessary. A contract is a legal binding document.
Right.
It is a legal binding document. So the contract should be drawn up between both parties, and Almighty God says, fulfill all contracts. Fulfill the obligations that you have made. So what is the enforcement of the contract? The enforcement of the contract is the regard that you have for Almighty God alone. The regard that you have for what Almighty God has given us as guidance. As guidance. You will be held accountable for the oath that you have made. Allah says that. He tells us that. So, okay, let me open up the line of another.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to make a comment, but I realized you had another caller. So let's hear from that caller.
Okay. Oh, boy, they're lining up now. Well, we only got 6 minutes.
I know. Now y'all want to say something. It's time to go. All right, let's hear the call.
He is showing anonymous on the studio board. Please state your name and where you're calling from. Anonymous.
Assalamu alaikum, my sister Amina from the Metro Atlanta area.
Amina from Atlanta. All right.
Yes, I've been on hold for a while. I was wondering, was I going to get in? But what I wanted to mention is that, first of all, A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim, a wonderful dua that we recite often is glory to you, O most holy Allah, Lord of the angels and the spirit, and also glory to you, Allah, our Lord, and praise is yours. Oh Allah, forgive me. One of the things that we have to do is really address the issues that are plaguing our marriages. I've been Muslim for, oh my goodness, many years. Since 1971, I came in the community, and I am here still, decades later. I've seen a lot, and one of the things that we have to address is that the Prophet, peace be upon him, he addressed these issues in his time to give us guidance. And we have to look at the issues. A lot of the issues that are plaguing the Muslim marriages are we're not doing what Allah say in these marriages. As the sister was saying,
Some of us are not.
Some of us are not. That's why there's such a high divorce rate. We have to really address the issues. The elephant in the room is three things. We have to look at the emotional intelligence, the mental problems that some of the people have, and they don't address it. We have to ask those questions ahead of time. We have to, question, what the person is about, both the male and the female, and we have to deal with the fact that a lot of the people in the community think it's okay to do, condone or address abuse. They don't want to deal with that. So that's one of the biggest problems. And then our children are traumatized. We don't realize what we're doing. Our children, a lot of the children say, well, I don't want anything to do with it. If this is what a marriage is, I've seen my parents, doing this and that.
She's right.
But yet they claim one thing, and they don't want to get married with the state. They want to have girlfriends on the side, like you were talking about, and they don't want to properly give the sister her rights. And sometimes the sisters don't ask the questions ahead of time of the brothers. We gotta really fix our social services, our social services, and the neighborly needs of these marriages and all these massages. We need to really address it. And a lot of times the imams are overwhelmed. They don't know how. They're not educated in that. They're overwhelmed, and it's so much overhead that they're looking at it is in the community. We need to have committees that address these issues. We really sincerely do. Yeah. So inshallah. And I know time is of the essence, and I'll go, so someone else, but I'm just saying, we have to address the elephant in the room and do what Allah say, and really, really, really address all these social service needs that the community.
Yes.
This is a human condition we're in.
Mm-hmm.
This is not an Islamic condition or a Christian or a Jewish condition. This is a human condition. Okay, we got about 90 seconds. I got one more caller if I can squeeze them in.
All right.
727-741. Please be very brief and to the point, please.
I Martha Nyla calling from St. Petersburg, Florida, and my comment is following the laws of the land is part of any faith. Following the laws of the land. So when we say it is following the Muslim way of marriage, then we're saying something else underhandedly. And I'll leave it right there. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you. Okay, Naima.
Yes. Well, and of course, that was Martha Nyla from St. Petersburg, Florida. We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody who has weighed in on this topic, because it is going to keep coming up. But we thank you all. And once again, every Wednesday, we'll be here. We are expanding our radio network, and we'll be including other programs on the network. We'll talk about that more next week. But of course, if you are in a relationship, honor that person and honor yourself by giving them, as the sister said, their rights. Whether you are married in the state, married in your house of worship, understand the responsibility to honor the person that you marry, and understand if you choose not to get that agreement with the state, that you're creating problems later on in life. Talk about all of the things that need to be discussed ahead of time, especially your family, and let your family know if this is your choice, you want it to be honored. That's my advice. So thank you all for joining us on this edition of the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. Come on back tomorrow and you will be treated to Veggie Brunch live with Angela. And until that time, we want you all to enjoy your day and continue to shine your light, because you are a light for the world to see. See you next time.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites. We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jareth. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.